Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about Project L, or now known as 2XKO, the new game for Riot Games that's coming out next year, which is bound to change the scene for fighting games and how it's going to affect both casual and competitive scenario, and also bring a breath of fresh air to the whole genre. Let's get to it. If you already know 2XKO, you probably know it is a tag fighting game, but it has some twists. It takes inspiration from Fighter Z, from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, from Guilty Gear. It's very similar how they play, 2D fighting game, but 2XKO aims to be a bit different. This one is not a 3-tag fighting game. This one is going to be a 2-tag fighting game, which changes the field a little bit and opens opportunities for new things. Riot has already announced that we're gonna have dual play for both ranked and for casual games, which unlike Fighter Z, Guilty Gear, and Marvel Capcom, where you could definitely take your friends and play against a bot or an AI, a boss or something like that, a special event, this one is aiming to be something new. Probably gonna bring a whole new demographic of players to the game, because it not only requires you to be good at the mechanics and the game itself, but it also opens the field for teamwork and sync up with your partner. You still have assistances like you would have in Fighter Z and the other ones, but now since you have a friend playing with you, you're gonna need to understand better how to actually tag in your partner, or how to use the systems that 2XKO implement as new to actually get the best damage, or to survive longer, or how to play around with your partner and have good synergy. Even though you could still understand how to use your assistances back in Fighter Z and Marvel vs. Capcom, now you're gonna have to understand how to use the assists, and your partner is also gonna have to understand how he's gonna come in to be able to extend the combos based on where you put the assist on, or how he can keep the fight going on so you can recover some HP, and so on and so on. Unlike Fighter Z, where you would just need to understand how to use your assistances to either change characters or to extend combos. It's a similar thing, but now it plays a lot into the synergy between the two players, which is really cool, and it's really fresh and new. I myself was a big player for Fighter Z, and watching 2XKO makes me even more excited, because it takes a little bit of the elements from the other games, but it also takes the things that define those games. Like in Fighter Z, you had Super Dash and you had a lot of ranged skills, pretty much every character had one, and keeps the game much more grounded, but also adds a lot of elements such as the fuse system. The fuse system enable things that you would have by default in those other games. For example, in Fighter Z, you can ult from one character and an ult back to back from another character. You can still do that into XKO, but now you have to select which kind of fusion system you're going to use. So the fuse system is something that you're going to have to get in line with your partner, because there are a few options. First of all, the 2x assist, which allows you and your duo to throw 2 assists back to back, or the double down, which allows both of you to use your ultimates together to dish even more damage and maybe finish that fight. Or also the Fury system, which works similar to Rage in Dragon Ball Fighter Z or in Tekken, where you're gonna have extra damage when you're low, and you're also, this is a little extra that I think it's awesome, is a special dash cancel. So you have an extra move when you have the Fury, which, well, it makes sense because just having the extra damage would be a little bit boring. Or the freestyle system, which to me is the most exciting one, but also probably the hardest to get right, which allow multiple handshake tags to extend combos even further when you have good synergy between you and your duo. Also, one of the big things about 2XKO is that it's probably going to be a free-to-play game, just like Valorant, League of Legends. And I think that's a very strong point, because it's definitely going to open the demographic for a lot of people, because usually fighting games, they have that entry barrier of having to buy the game, just like Tekken 8 just came out as a AAA game costing $70. You have Fighter Z that you also have to buy, even though now it's $30, you still have to buy it. You have Smash. All those fighting games you usually have to pay unless you're playing Brawlhalla or something like that. But 2XKO, I think it's probably going to aim for a free-to-play system where they're going to bet on the cosmetics, and that's probably going to bring a lot of new players. The fighting games community is the most classic and united communities that we have seen in games. Even though you have other communities for Valorant, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota, and MMOs like WoW, Lost Ark, Final Fantasy. The fighting games community has been united ever since the 80s and the 90s, and it's a community that's very based in togetherness. You get together at the arcade, you're gonna play with your friends, or you invite someone over to play some Street Fighter, some Tekken, some Smash. So it's a community that's very well rooted, so opening up the scene to a lot of new players through a free-to-play model is going to expand the community even more, redefine competitive and casual play alike. And also, since this is a Riot game, it is rooted on a roster that many players already know, since they have already played League of Legends and know Runeterra. So they have a very vast player base with a roster that's going to be from inside of their own games. If one of those players just want to switch over to 2XKO, they might be able to play their main character and just try them out, or try other characters they already know from League of Legends as well. So keeping the roster inside of the universe that the people already know opens up the barrier even more, because you can just get into the game and play the character that you already know and like. And also, for those of you who are excited to try out 2XKO or are just looking out for the news about the game, we're gonna have a playable demo that's gonna happen in Evo Japan in April. But, well, that's limited to the people that are actually going to be there in Japan. But also, by the end of the year, we're getting a beta that's coming for you at home. So if you want to check that out, go to Riot's website. I'm gonna leave a link down below. And register right now so you can save your spot for the beta test of 2XKO at the end of this year. So are you excited about 2XKO? Be sure to leave a comment down below. I would love to know what you guys have to say about it. And for more news on other games and also for 2XKO, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Czar out.